Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2's community for the most part revolves around its PvP, player versus player. I mean, this is a 3D fighting game after all, so it only makes sense. However, despite the fact that I'm able to get a lot of entertainment from simply fighting others online over and over again, whether it be 1 versus 1 or as a team, I can't help but feel like there could be more modes encompassing PvP, perhaps with added objectives or goals to add more fun or things to do online in Xenoverse with our friends. With that said, this leads me to turn towards none other than Xenoverse 2's future successor, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. Welcome to the first edition of SeeReax's, that's me, DREAM Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. In this series of videos, I'll share ideas for the future of the Dragon Ball Xenoverse franchise through game mode ideas, functionalities, and other things I believe the entire community, not only myself, would find awesome in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. Now, I'm sure you've already seen the thumbnail and the title, but in this episode of my DREAM Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, I'll be sharing one of the many game mode ideas that I had. Today we're going to be talking about Capture the Dragon Balls.
But SeeReax, you can already capture Dragon Balls in parallel missions. What do you mean capture the Dragon Balls?
If it wasn't obvious, I'm not talking about the Capture the Dragon Balls in parallel missions. I'm talking about a PvP based Capture the Dragon Balls, almost similar to what you would see with like a Capture the Flag in an online shooter. Now this may seem a little far-fetched, but at the core, it really would not be that hard to implement due to the already present functionalities in the Xenoverse game. So how exactly does it work? Well, it's pretty simple. There are two teams. Each team will attempt to collect all 7 Dragon Balls and return them to their capture point. Each capture point could be the already in the game time machine things that are in those parallel quests. Each team would have one on the opposite side of large maps only. This could be known as the team's headquarters and or capture point. Players must defend their capture point as well, as Dragon Balls can be stolen from their base if left unattended. The team with the most Dragon Balls at the end of a set time limit, anywhere between 5, maybe all the way up to 15 minutes, or the team who collects all 7 Dragon Balls first will win the match automatically. So for starters, let's talk about how you would capture a Dragon Ball. As previously mentioned, the objective for each team is to capture all 7 Dragon Balls. So at the start of the match, there will be 7 Dragon Balls scattered throughout the map, with each team and their capture point on opposite sides of the map. And like I mentioned before, the mechanics are already there. Once a player makes contact with a Dragon Ball, they'll successfully pick it up and they can start traveling with it and attempt to return it to their base. The big difference obviously being there are other players on the map, many of which are going to try to stop you. With that said, let me mention what it means to be holding a Dragon Ball. You have just become a target. No, like literally a target. See, just like in the parallel quest, each player is equipped with a Dragon Radar so they can locate the Dragon Balls. I imagine this Dragon Radar also being present in this game mode. As you know, when you peer down at the Dragon Radar, each Dragon Ball is a little dot on your radar. However, in this game mode, should you pick up a Dragon Ball, the enemy team will be notified and you will appear as a red flashing dot on their radar so they know that you are the one they need to go after. In parallel quests, if you're hit even once, even by something as small as a Ki Blast, you'll drop the Dragon Ball automatically. I'm not sure to what extent, but I think players need to be a lot more durable while they're holding the Dragon Balls with this PvP system. By durable, I just mean a little bit harder to make you drop the Dragon Ball. Maybe a certain amount of hits, not just one. For now, let's just say you successfully bypass everyone and return your Dragon Ball to your base. And huzzah, you've given your team 1 Dragon Ball, which is 1 Dragon Ball closer to victory. However, you are not in the clear yet, because although you tucked your Dragon Ball in for bed, it's not as safe as you think. This brings me to my next point, stealing a Dragon Ball. I find the concept of being able to steal a Dragon Ball to be very important. Not only does it just make things more hectic, it allows teams to make comebacks if they're down. It also gives every player something to think about, as they'll have to have a teammate probably staying back at base to defend it. So how exactly does stealing a Dragon Ball work? To successfully steal a Dragon Ball after an opponent has captured it, a player must go to the enemy's capture point and stand at their base for a certain amount of time while a progression bar fills up. Think of the progression bar when you're trying to revive somebody when they're down. It'll be kind of like that. Be aware, because just like holding a Dragon Ball, if a Dragon Ball is being stolen, the enemy team will be notified immediately. The more players who are stacked up on the enemy's capture point, the faster the stealing Dragon Ball progression meter will rise. If a player is knocked off while in the middle of trying to steal a Dragon Ball, the progression meter will slowly start to drain until the player or one of their teammates returns onto the enemy capture point. After the stealing Dragon Ball meter has been completely filled, the Dragon Ball will then be given to the player who is responsible for the majority of the stealing Dragon Ball meter later to be filled up. The opposite team is then obviously notified that you have a Dragon Ball, and the cycle repeats. I think Capture the Dragon Balls in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 would be a lot of fun. It's very possible that I missed a few details here and there, so if you do have any questions or need me to shed some light on certain aspects of the potential game mode, feel free to comment them down below and I'll be sure to try to answer as many as I can. But really, I think this game mode would be a whole lot of fun. I mean, think about it. You would finally get a new dimension to PvP where it adds an objective to the game instead of just knocking your opponent out. Now you'll have to think about your base. Are people going to try to steal your Dragon Balls? How many points do you have? What's the time looking like? How many points should I get before the time gets to whatever? Oh, my teammate just went down, but this other guy's flying off with a Dragon Ball. Should I revive my teammate or should I go after this guy with the Dragon Ball? Like, there's so many different decisions that each player will have to make to guarantee success for their team. The different roles different players will have. Some people might have to play the defend role, while others play just the straight aggression role and maybe try to knock out the opponents so they have an easier time taking the Dragon Balls. I could just imagine when the match first starts off, maybe you have your eye on a certain dot on the Dragon radar, but little do you know, the opponent has his eye on the same exact dot. You both arrive there at around the same time, and instead of just picking up the Dragon Ball because you know it'll just get knocked out of your hands, you both just kind of give each other that look and you're like, all right, we gotta fight for this. And whoever happens to lose that fight is gonna have to go down, knocked out, and have to just simply watch whoever defeated them run off with the Dragon Ball. Or there could be an X factor. Maybe in the middle of that fight, a different enemy runs in and takes the Dragon Ball. You got like a dirty Brienne or something, assuming Brienne's in the game, unfortunately, and she just takes the Dragon Ball in the middle of you guys' fight, and it just changes up everything. So all the chaotics and all the cool things and the X factors that could go on with this game mode, I think would just add a whole lot of longevity to the game, just because it's something new and you'll have new experiences every time. And if you have a team, you can try out new tactics, and different attacks are going to be more viable in this game mode where they may not be as viable in a standard PvP match. So keep in mind, this is just one of the many ideas that I have for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. If you enjoyed the idea of Capture the Dragon Balls, I can assure you there's going to be a lot more from myself you will enjoy. So make sure to subscribe, maybe even turn notifications on. Be sure to comment all your thoughts on Capture the Dragon Balls, if you think it would be a cool idea, if there's any things you would add to my idea, or if you just want any clarity on certain things that I might have missed in this video. But anyways, that's gonna do it for episode 1 of my Dream Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. If you enjoyed, make sure you share this all over the place, hit that like button, you know, all that good stuff. My name is Deion, I'm known as SeeReax on YouTube, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Waba! With that, I just have 2 more words to say.